On to our big story that we are tracking right now, which is the latest updates coming in from Bangladesh. In fact, a whole host of updates have come in the last couple of hours. And NDTV and India Global is giving you all those latest developments. First up, Sheikh Hasina, former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, who is in India seeking an asylum, has hit out in a very strongly worded statement against Mohammad Yunus's government and how the entire turn of events have unfolded with regard to ISKCON and the Hindu priest as well, who's now, of course, in custody in jail in Bangladesh because he's been denied bail. Charges against him are very serious: sedition. The fact that Bangladesh has also termed the ISKCON organization as being fundamentalist is very serious, something that has led to a huge response from New Delhi. There's been a response from the External Affairs Ministry, and there has been a very rare statement coming in from the former Prime Minister as well, who's been in India since 5th of August when she was forced to flee under extraordinary circumstances. The war of words, in fact, continues between Sheikh Hasina and Mohammad Yunus as well, where she said that, in fact, on your screens is that statement where she's demanded the release of the Hindu priest and said that he, as well as ISKCON, have been targeted. Now, all eyes on what will be the latest in terms of a response coming in from the Yunus government on this, and also which way the legal proceedings go in this case. Remember, India has upped the ante on Bangladesh with a statement on the floor of the House. Let's get in my colleagues to fill us in with all that's been happening right now. First, let's get in my colleague Saurabh from Kolkata, who's been working the phones and trying to get us the very latest that's happening both in Kolkata as well as in neighboring Dhaka. Saurabh, now on our screens right now are those visuals that we are playing of the protests that have been taking place. Talk to us about how things are unfolding, given the fact that there's now been a very strong response coming in from Hindu organizations in terms of protests and a war of words.
Well, Bangladesh has been tense, and of course Bangladesh in the context of ISKCON is also worrisome, because ISKCON, like we've been reporting, has been labeled a fundamentalist organization. But what has also played out is that there has been some sort of a slowing down of things on the Bangladesh side, because today, of course, the matter came up in court again. Some relief has been provided to Chinmay Krishna Das in terms of his food in jail, but he continues to remain incarcerated, and that's a worry. The other worry is that ISKCON, a body that is known for its social service and philanthropic work, it's also known for providing relief during natural calamities, and did some exemplary work during the latest floods in Bangladesh and provided relief to Bangladeshis irrespective of religion, has now been termed a fundamentalist body. What has happened also is that the reason why this has been done, or at least one of the points mentioned in the document presented before the court, is that Chinmay Krishna Das was organizing people, and that is something that was anti-Bangladesh activities, is what they said, and therefore they said that, you know, ISKCON also should be banned. Now ISKCON has clarified today, saying that Chinmay Krishna Das, who has been, of course, unjustly incarcerated, and they are demanding his release, is not a position holder in ISKCON, but he's a devotee of ISKCON. He's a bhakta, as they call it. So that's one clarification. But, you know, the MEA statement has come, and, you know, people like Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar of the Art and Living Foundation, all of them have come out in support of this Hindu monk. An ISKCON center in Shibchor, ISKCON Namhata in Bangladesh, has also been shut down forcefully, and the police have had to come and rescue the devotees and the brahmacharis from there. So this kind of situation in Bangladesh is continuing. Minorities continue to be targeted. Meanwhile, ISKCON today held a protest of kirtans to draw attention to the plight of minorities in Bangladesh, and appealed to not ban an organization and not label it as fundamentalist, because that is far from reality if you consider what ISKCON does in terms of relief, in terms of, you know, providing you know, sort of spiritual support to the Hindu community in Bangladesh.
All right. In fact, thanks much, Saurabh, for really bringing that for us in terms of details what's happening there. Let's also now get in Mohammad Ghazali, who's really tracking what's happening in New Delhi. There's been a response that's come in from the External Affairs Ministry as well.
Okay, so the External Affairs Ministry has categorically rejected these demands and have also identified that how the incidents which have surfaced in Bangladesh in the last 1 week, or say since the regime change, it has identified that attacks on Hindu places or the places of worship has increased. And all these months, the advisor of the interim government, Mr. Yunus, whenever he was asked about the atrocities on the minorities in Bangladesh, he would dub it as a propaganda by divisive forces. But today, on the floor of the House, the Minister of State for the External Affairs, Mr. Kirti, Singh, while responding to the situation in Bangladesh, categorically mentioned the attack on temples, that too during the Durga Puja, attack on a prominent Hindu temple there in Bangladesh, and also said that it is the responsibility of the Bangladesh government to ensure the safety of minorities. And this is not the one of the isolated incidents, only because the situation has flared up after the arrest of one of the Hindu monks there. But what happened even before that, because that Hindu monk was vociferously was raising the voices of Hindu minorities, and also was raising the issue that how the security forces, the fringe elements, the elements aligned with some Islamist groups were hounding or were openly attacking, issuing threats against the minorities. And despite the fact the Bangladesh government issued a counter statement against the statement issued by MEA saying that this is all divisive propaganda and the courts are very impartial. They are doing their job, and perhaps this Hindu monk was accused of disrespecting the Bangladeshi flag. But despite all this, the Indian government stands behind its statement and has said that it is the responsibility of the Bangladesh government to ensure the safety of minorities. Now it has to be seen whether Mr. Yunus will walk the talk, or whether this Hindu monk will have a fair trial from the local court there in Bangladesh.
All right, Mohammad Ghazali, Saurabh Gupta, thanks much for giving those details for our viewers to understand what really is happening there. Now, Chinmay Krishnadas continues to be in custody. Whether he'll get a fair trial is one aspect, but what will be the response from the Yunus government is now a question that I pose to the panelists joining me this evening. We have Ambassador Veena Sikri, who, of course, has been at the forefront of really decoding what's happening in Bangladesh. And we also have a voice from Bangladesh, from Dhaka, joining us to really put some perspective on how things are unfolding. Okay, Ambassador Sikri, let me come to you, and then I get in Mohammad Kamruzzaman as well. You know, when you talk about how things are unfolding right now in Bangladesh, the sense one gets is that the statement by the government today really puts it in no uncertain terms. The fact that how it views the present situation and how it is unfolding in Bangladesh, which is that minorities are being attacked, Hindu organizations are being targeted, and the priest, for as things stand right now, may or at least there's hope that he gets a fair trial.
Yes, absolutely. I think that this is very correct what our government has said today in Parliament. It is the responsibility of Mohammad Yunus's government to look after the law and order situation and to protect everybody, every citizen, including the minorities. More than that, Mohammad Yunus had personally given this assurance to our Prime Minister. Right in the very beginning, we know after the 5th of August, the minorities were attacked mercilessly. The Buddhists, the Hindus, the Christians, and actually our Prime Minister had raised it even in the letter of congratulations he sent to Mohammad Yunus. Mohammad Yunus had telephoned our Prime Minister and said, yes, I'm going to assure that everybody is safe. But clearly that has not happened. And on the contrary, in the recent note put out by the government of Bangladesh, they said, oh, we have complete communal harmony. Durga Puja went very well. But we know that during Durga Puja, mandaps were attacked. The Jeshweshwari Kali temple, their idol was stolen. And all these things are continuing to happen. And in the last 1 week, it has gone completely out of control because meetings in Chattogram, meetings in Rangpur, all these have been attacked. Temples have been attacked in Chittagong just 2 days ago. So I think the minority communities are under great tension. And the leader who was organizing it, Chinmoy Prabhu, who is the head of the Samalito Sanatani Jagran Jyoth, he has been arrested and charged with sedition. I know just today that somebody somebody was saying from Bangladesh that even the sedition charge seems to be fake because the visuals show that the flag of Bangladesh, which is supposed to be disrespected, was not really the flag of Bangladesh at all. So even that charge is fake. And we do know that even the demand to ban ISKCON. Yesterday, it was the student leaders in Dhaka, Hassan
Yes.
Abdullah and Sarjas Alam. They made a demand, the students' anti-discrimination movement, you must ban ISKCON. And promptly the Attorney General went to the court for the ban. But
Veena,
today,
Sikri, let me get a response from Mohammad Kamruzzaman as well on this, senior journalist joining me from Dhaka. As things stand right now, it almost seems like things are unraveling in Bangladesh. Why is it that one is seeing these instances of attacks on minorities and on Hindus now happening with the frequency with which we are seeing them? Why is it happening?
Thank you very much for having me. Actually, now the matter is under sub judice, so I have to talk with highest caution. But I think that the court today, actually, it has been a little bit confusion. Actually, court said today that the banning on ISKCON, it's a matter of the government, and the law enforcers will conduct investigation. Then it's the decision of the government, not the court. So government will, after the investigation, take decision whether the activities of the ISKCON is like the activities of any terrorist organization. But there is confusion among the people, especially...
Let me ask you this, sir. Let me ask you this very simple question. To term a religious organization which has been involved in relief work during disaster as a terrorist organization is a very, very sharp step and a very strong step that has been taken by the government. What is the basis for a draconian measure like this to be taken?
Yes, I said that investigation is underway. So we have to wait until the investigation. But if you want to clarify this, you already know that ISKCON has already clarified is that the statement or activities of Chinmoy doesn't mean that it is the activities of ISKCON. So everything will be clear after the investigation. But why people are confused and why the students' leader are demanding to ban ISKCON? Because after the fall of Sheikh Hasina on August 5, the demonstrations, there were slogans in favor of the ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, and also there were many reports that ISKCON have been working in favor of the ousted Awami League government. So whether ISKCON is a religious and spiritual organization or working in favor of the ousted Prime Minister.
Those are conjectures and targeting. Veena, Sikri, let me give you a chance to respond to our guest from Dhaka.
Well, I think that this is absolutely unheard of, that you have these conjectures and allegations, and that is taken as a means to ban an organization. Conjectures and allegations in 3 months, there's no investigation, no result, and the Hindu minorities, the Buddhist minorities, the Christian minorities have been attacked mercilessly. And we know that even President-elect Trump has spoken about it. He has said that there is chaos in Bangladesh and there are barbaric attacks on the Hindus and Christians in Bangladesh. And I don't know how the government in Bangladesh and the students of the anti-discrimination movement who are being credited with having created all this change of regime, which we know is not true, but anyway, they are being credited with it. But they are now saying that ban this thing. It does not seem like a responsible statement. And for improving the relations, for keeping up the good relations between India and Bangladesh, we need responsiveness, we need high degree of responsibility, and we need a high degree of interest. On the other hand, we find in Bangladesh there's a very strong attempt to fire up an anti-India sentiment. Everything is being blamed on India. Whatever you want to blame, that whatever Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina did, you blame it promptly on India. And as if the two are interlinked, we are two sovereign countries. We have had good relations. There are a number of projects, very important projects of cooperation, economic trade, connectivity between India and Bangladesh. We would like to continue them. We have expressed our interest in continuing the talks with the government of Bangladesh. It's up to the government of Bangladesh to respond.
Exactly. It is up to the government of Bangladesh to respond to this and see if they want to escalate this into a bigger diplomatic issue between the two countries. Thank you so much, both of you, for taking out the time and speaking and really decoding how things are right now between India and Bangladesh.